There's not many other roles that offer you that kind of feeling and that kind of gratitude as a client as well. It is a challenge. It can be a real fight, and you have to like sitting on hold to some lenders where their telephone systems are just nightmare. In today's video, we're going to talk about, is mortgage brokering a good job? But before I get into that content, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated with all the awesome, amazing content that we are bringing you day in, day out on this channel. My name's Gary Das. I've been mortgage brokering since 2003. I've had a vast experience starting in the bank, working in Connell's estate agency, working for a London brokerage, an Essex-based brokerage where I had to drive up and down the country, building someone else's brokerage back in 2005 up to £100,000 a month inside 11 months before going into self-employment in 2006. And in my first 10 years, I had to focus on insurance brokering because of the credit crunch before getting back to mortgages in 2016. So I have got some experience that I can share with you. And the reason why I got into mortgages back in 2003, I was 22 years old. Back then it was about money. Now that was what the driver was. Maybe you can relate to that if you're a 22-year-old watching this. If not, now it's, if you can relate to that, back when, I was 22, it was about the money. That was the key driver. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had some real high-paying temporary jobs, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And my dad said to me, go and work for a bank because they'll always be around. And Woolwich got me qualified. Mortgages back in the good old days, pre-credit crunch, were way, way easier. But fast forward to now, the industry is as buoyant as it has ever been. We've been in the COVID and Corona environment, and the housing market, the mortgage market is one that's continued to keep growing on, to continuing to provide the best advice to clients is what it is all about. Now, there are 3 different ways you can get into this job. You can be in a bank where you've only got one lender, one set of criteria to work with. You could be with an estate agent where you've got a larger amount of lenders you can use and a larger criteria to choose from, or you can be a full-blown broker where you've got access to whole of the market, although it's not a term that's particularly used in the industry right now. But no matter which one you work in, you are changing and transforming somebody's life. You're helping them move from A to B. You're more often than not solving a real big pain or problem that they have, whether it be becoming a first-time buyer, moving into their dream home, buying their investment property, whatever it is that they want to do, you're helping someone achieve something that they couldn't realistically do themselves. Now they could, let's be quite honest about that, they could do it themselves. But the advantage being a broker is the fact that you have the knowledge. You're saving your client a huge amount of time having to run up and down the high street, finding the best interest rate, finding the most suitable lender to suit their criteria and their individual circumstances. And you're making sure that it's a square peg being put in a square hole instead of a square peg going into a round hole. Because what I see all the time is clients who come to me saying, Gary, I've been to my bank. Oh, Gary, I've been to my estate agent. They've told me I can't get a mortgage. And that's because they just don't know what they don't know. Not all brokers have access to the same lenders. There are a lot that do, and the interest rates don't differ between them all. But it's a people by people industry. People like you will buy from you. So all you have to do is build great rapport with a client. You have to make them understand that you're going to solve their pains and their problems, that you understand where they really are now versus where they want to be, and that you're going to make that process quick, easy, simple, take care of all the pains, do all the paperwork, whatever their priorities are for working with a mortgage broker. Where mortgage brokering has now changed because of the credit crunch, because of all the criteria changes back in 2014 with the mortgage market review that came into place at that point in time, the industry has got a hell of a lot harder. And what a lot of clients see, and maybe you have seen, is this nice iceberg above the sea level. Whereas actually there is a huge amount of work that goes on underneath that you cannot see, that's all behind the scenes. the amount of research that you have to do to understand all the different criteria with all the different lenders, it's like piecing together an absolutely ginormous puzzle, because you've got loads of different lenders. You've got employed, self-employed, buy-to-let, HMO, limited company, sole trader, salary, dividends, commissions, overtime. Then you've got the property to take into account. Then you've got the credit history to take into account. So mortgage brokering is absolutely a fantastic job because of how it makes you feel getting the result for your client. But you have to be someone who loves detail. You have to be someone who loves research. You have to be someone who loves administration, because that's mostly what the job entails now today. It's why I love selling insurance, because you have to physically sell insurance because people don't want it even though they need it. So if you really do enjoy getting knee deep in analytical data, in remembering all the little nuances about this mortgage lender versus that mortgage lender, if you've got the brain capacity and the memory capacity to remember which lender was the best for this type of scenario, then this is 100% the job for you, and you're going to absolutely love it. Because when you manage to get that mortgage offer for that client and you ring them and say, hey, all said and done, you have now got your offer. We are 100% guaranteed. It's all down and subject to the solicitor doing their part of the job. Your clients are over the moon. There's not many other roles that offer you that kind of feeling and that kind of gratitude as a client as well. It is a challenge. It can be a real fight, and you have to like sitting on hold to some lenders where their telephone systems are just nightmare. But all in all, it is a fantastic job that you can have as a career for a lifetime if you really want it to. Now, I coach and mentor hundreds of financial services professionals, and if you're a mortgage broker or an aspiring mortgage broker and you want to understand how to have the best first conversation with your client, then in the comments below there is a link to my strategy call script. The first conversation that I have with a client, I've recorded it, I've put it into nice bullet point form, I've given you an outline as to how to hold that conversation, and I would 100% recommend that you go and download that to take your initial conversation, your rapport building, your positioning yourself in front of your client to the next level so that you can guarantee yourself more clients and more sales. But I hope this video has inspired you. I hope it's given you an insight. Make sure that you don't underestimate how hard this job is to learn and to do. And make sure that you go back and check on all the other videos on the channel after liking and subscribing to this one. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in, and I'll see you again on the next video.